Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and I've got a new kit review for you today, and this is something I've just received from B&A over in Australia. And if you've not used them yet and you're anywhere in the world, don't ever worry about using them. Their website is fantastic. They only show live stock. Their prices are really good. Their postage costs are amazing, and their packaging is fantastic. So I would thoroughly recommend them to anyone. They are absolutely amazing. This got here in, I don't know, 10 days, which was, you know, and the postage was very cheap. So this is basically Helo 66, it's old 66, and the Apollo command module. Now I've been looking for a 72nd scale kit so I could do Apollo 13, and there are obviously plenty of 72nd scale Sea Kings out there, but they don't have the steps on the side, and having the pod with the winch and everything is going to be a little bit difficult to find. Lo and behold, I found this. Oh, and also there's loads of aftermarket decals, but many of them only seem to cover 8, 10, 11 and 12. So I was really pleased to see this one because, as many of you already know, I actually was there when Apollo 13 went off, and it was one of the last times I spent with my sister. So it's very close to my heart. So anyway, this gives you the option of doing all the different versions. So, and also want to apologise to someone who commented. I had been led to believe that the 8, 10, 11 and 12 helicopter crashed, and then a new helicopter was used for 13. The information I was given was in fact incorrect. It was after Apollo 13 that it crashed, and she still sits in about 150 metres of water, I believe. And she's there was attempts to retrieve her, but that's all gone quiet apparently. But anyway, there we go. So this is an interesting little kit, very interesting little kit, because it's actually the helicopter, the basket, and you get the command module and the dinghy as well. So it's quite an interesting little setup. So you can see on the side here, on the side of the box, very glossy. You can see we've got what you're actually getting in the box, and the typical sort of Dragon black and white display of what's in there, like a CAD image sort of thing. There is something very interesting about this with the rotor blades, which we'll cover in a minute. There we go. We've got undercarriage here, we've got the rear step there. Realistic pilot seats included. I'm glad they're realistic, because if they were unrealistic it wouldn't be very good, would it? And we've got slightly curved rotor blades reproduced, so if you want to do the aircraft in flight, you can actually have the rotor blades up as they would be in real life. The kit number is, where's the kit number? There it is, 11026. And I believe they had like 3 of these in stock, and I bought, so they've probably got 2 left now. But it's 72nd scale, and it looks to be a lovely little kit. Now, we've got many bags in here. You see we've got a command module, we've got some clear parts, some dots and pieces. We've got the flotation ring around the command module, got the dinghy there, and we've got the balloons on top of the command module there. Why they feel they have to make them in soft vinyl, I do not know, but there we go. It's nigh on impossible to paint. The actual fuselage halves themselves there, and then we've got all our rotor blades. We've got some, is that tubing? It's thread by the look of it. We've got a base, C base there, so that'll be handy for another model ship or something if you're not going to do the diorama. And then we've got a nice little set of decals there and our instructions. So let's have a look first of all at the instructions. Put that out of the way. We've got our decals there. So typical Dragon style, you can see we've got, let's get the light properly now. You can see we've got, let's bring you in a bit as well. There we go. So you can see on here we've got the all the blue paint parts shaded out that we don't use. So we've got a six-bladed propeller there, a tail rotor there, and there's the 5-bladed. So if Paul, if you're watching this, if you want to build your 72nd scale Sea King as a RAF, you can have that, mate, because I don't want to build an RAF one. So here we go. So going over through the book, we've got the cockpit going together and all looking lovely. We've got the control sticks and everything there. The seats look very nice. Looks like they've got moulded on harnesses. Not sure if we get a decal for the instrument panel. No, we don't. So it's probably just going to be a case of dry brushing it. And then we've got this box here, which is going in behind. It's amazing. This has got far more detail. Well, it's got detail. The 1/48 Hasegawa kit has no detail in the back at all, but this has got seats, and you've got this unit here, whatever that is. So that's all very, very nice. You've also got the doors all opened up on this one already. If you want them open on the Hasegawa kit, you have to cut them open, and they're telling you to drill holes basically everywhere you're drilling holes. So that's interesting. And then we've gone 4, where's 5? Oh, there's 5. Okay, it's hiding over there. Right, so step 5, we're bringing our fuselage half. Well, we brought our fuselage halves together. We're adding some antenna and some bits and pieces on the bottom, and then we've got the door going in the side. I don't know if that's slidable. Got the photo etch basket there, which is lifting the astronaut up if you want to do that in a diorama style. We also have here, we have the pod going on, which lifts that up, and we've got the tail. No doubt you can get etch parts to make that tail folded if you want to. Got the engine intakes going up here. There are no detailed engines, but 70-second scale, hey. And then we've got the steps going the side should you want to do the door open on the ground. We've then got here, this is fantastic, and if every helicopter kit had this, we'd all be happy. We've got the undercarriage going on there, sorry. And then this here, we've got the choice of having the rotor blades sagging. Okay, so we're using parts D2 for a sagging rotor blade on the ground. We've got D1, should we want to do it in flight with them lifted up, which is great. And then we've got these here, changing some parts so we can have it all folded. I mean, how good is that? Hey, that's great, isn't it? And then we're coming over the page. We've got step 10, and we're adding all our clear parts. Have you noticed anything yet? Adding all our clear parts, and then we've got our command module going together there with the footballs on the top and the flotation around the side, and then it's showing us here how we build up the diorama. A couple of points to note. If you're going to build this, okay, they've gone to the trouble of giving us all the blades lifted up and everything, but there's no mention here of how you're going to mount the helicopter to have it in flight, and there are no pilots. So it's obviously a remote controlled one, because you'd have 2 pilots in there. You'd have a guy in here. You'd probably have one of the astronauts in the cage. You might have another astronaut down here, but there are no figures. So very, very strange indeed. And then here we've got all our color call outs for all the different options. You can see they're all basically the same because it's the same helicopter. But the color call outs there for our command module and our dinghy. They're telling us to paint it here. I don't know how you're going to paint those vinyl parts. Maybe it's a different kind of vinyl, I don't know. I have actually found that MRP paint seems to stick very well to those vinyl materials. So here's the one I'm interested in. Apollo 13. You can see there are very small differences between them all. The alligator is the one thing for Apollo 13 according to Hobby Time, thank you. So you can see pretty much the same, but just some small differences going around. So there we are. So that's the one I'm interested in, and obviously I would do this on the ground with the door open, with the sagging rotor blades, or maybe even folded. I certainly wouldn't be doing a diorama of it. So there we go. So that's the instructions. So as you can see, it's a pretty simple kit. There's not a lot to it. Our decals, I'm not going to open these up because they're sealed. You can see we've basically got all our 66s. We've got lots of red bands here for the tail rotors and stuff. The bright and sparkling stars and bars. Helo, Deer, Charlie Brown. USS Princeton, USS Hornet. I think Apollo 13 was USS Hornet, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. Yes, USS Hornet, April 1970, of course. So there we go. So there we are. Very, very nice indeed. Let's have a look at some of the plastic. As I said, I'm not going to open this because it's a very, very rare and hard to come by kit. So here's our vinyl. As I say, these are flotation bits and pieces for our command module, and then we've got our footballs there going on the top with the hexagonal patterns you can see on them there. So all very nice indeed. And then here we have the command module with the base, and then we've got some little greeblies to go on. There's no clear windows, unfortunately, so you can't go add any detail inside unless you actually cut the windows open, I suppose. But there you go. You'll be able to do this all weathered and everything. But nice to have a command module in 70-second scale, even if you're not going to do the diorama. You've got one there, so that's nice. Clear parts. They look very, very nice indeed. All look so small. I'm used to this great big 35th scale beast I'm working on here. That's what I'm used to. So anyway, there we go. So they're all very nice indeed. They're very, very clear. And then here we've got a bag, we've got the engine intakes there, and then we've got some the steps, which is what I need here to copy for my 48th one. And then we've got our rotor head. It's all very, very nice. No flash. Engine intakes there that you can see. Very nicely done. So yeah. Sorry I'm not opening the bags, guys, but I'm sure you'll understand. If I open the bags, then the kit's basically worthless. So I've got a lot of this Dragon 72nd scale stuff, and a lot of it has been discontinued. It does come back from time to time, but you can see the fuselage halves here. We have beautifully, it's all recessed. There's raised lumps and bumps, but all the rivet and panel line detail is all recessed. It's very, very fine. It's very nice indeed. Not sure if you can see that through the bag there, but it is very, very nicely done. And we've got all the internal detail moulded in. Ejector pin marks in there to get rid of, but hey ho, shame they didn't do it as a separate inner shell, but I guess in 72nd scale that's not easy. That's that there. And we got this one here, which is our sponsons for our landing gear. Got some more wheels there. Got the 5-bladed rotor. So this is what you need for your American version. That's all lovely. And then here we've got the belly, we've got the tail, all those rows of seats, we've got the floor there with the cockpit. Where's the instrument panel? There it is. Yeah, we have detail on there, so you could just give that a paint and then dry brush it and then pick out the details in the dials in gloss. It would look absolutely fine. Or of course you can go to town and get the Edward sets and stuff for it. But yeah, lots and lots of detail for the interior here, which is all very nice. Very nicely done indeed. You can see the pilot seats there with the moulded in belts. As I say, they're giving you the option of doing dioramas, but there are no pilots. And this is great. We've got the pre-sagged rotor blades. So you can see you've got the ones here for normal display, and then these here for lift, bent up sort of thing. So those will be down and those will be up. So you get a spare set of rotor blades as well. And then we've got here the photo etch. Little photo etch basket, the basket lifting up the pilots, or the astronauts should I say. And then this lovely base is quite thick. It's some lovely sort of water finish on there, so if you're building a little 700th ship, that would be beautiful for that, wouldn't it? Very nice. I could put my here we go, just put my little aircraft carrier. That's Hornet, so that's different Hornet, but it's Hornet. There we go. So yeah, very nice indeed. And then finally we've got this. It almost looks like a tube. This is actually a resealable bag, so I can open this one. It almost looks like a tube. Yeah, it's like a braided tube. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but yeah, interesting. So there we go, guys. That has been the Retrieving the Apollo Helo 66. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just to give you a rough idea of what you're getting if you want to get one. Obviously they're going to be available on eBay, and I believe still available from BNA Model World in Australia if you want to get yourself one. And if this is your kind of thing, get one if you can, because I don't think they're produced anymore, and a lot of it sort of comes back, but some of it doesn't. So it's worth it's always worth just getting it and sticking it in the stash if it's something you're interested in, because you're never going to lose money on it. So if it does come out, it'll be a higher price. So there you go. So there we are. Lovely little kit. Very, very nice indeed. Highly recommended. Obviously reviews don't show you how the kit goes together, but they show you the kit's contents, and nice to see. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon, guys. Bye for now.